Anjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine. Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. We welcome all of our wonderful devotees, all of you, to this day 2 of the Grihastha workshop. Krishna, the third partner in marriage.
Can we have the slideshow, please?
So yesterday we had a very wonderful session, and we really appreciate all of you who personally messaged us, sharing your questions, sharing so many concerns. So we are very, very thankful to all of you for doing that. We are very happy that this seminar is somehow helping you all in some way or the other. We are very, very happy about this.
So today we'll go over the thumb rules. Out of the 6 thumb rules, 3rd and 4th, we'll discuss a real life situation, and then we'll discuss about the man and woman psychology, how to understand each other. And finally, we will end with duties of husband and a wife. And then tomorrow we'll continue with the duties and discuss some more details about children and a complete Grihastha schedule. Next slide, please. So 6 thumb rules for Grihastha life.
Next slide, please. So the third thumb rule that we have for all of you is the third one is do not criticize. Now, what does that mean? Generally when we say criticism, we feel that criticism means just, pointing out the defects in each other. So when we are living as a family, the automatic question comes, well, should I even not tell about the shortcomings that the other person is having? Should I not do this? Should I not do that? How can I correct the other person? How can I correct my children? How can I correct my wife? How can I, without criticizing, how can I do that? So what does criticism actually mean? Criticism actually means when we are, it comes from a feeling of vengeance. Criticism. It comes up from a feeling of, oh, you are good for nothing. Oh, there is someone much better than you. Therefore, the comparison comes in. Oh, look at that person. Look at those children. Look at that spouse, how they take care of each other. Look at those children, how they are. Look at that wife, how she is. Look at that husband, how nicely he's taking care of the children. What do you do? So it's coming from a feeling of, contempt. It's coming from a feeling of great, vengeance. That because we are not satisfied, we feel that our expectations have not been met. Therefore, we take that out as a frustration and we start criticizing. So There is a difference if we want to show, if we want to point out, or if we want to, help someone in some way in our family. There is something called as constructive criticism. The general criticism that we do, criticism in its general way, that is actually destructive criticism. It destroys not just us, but it also destroys even um, the person who's listening to us. So this is something that we need to focus on, that what is criticism actually meaning. So constructive criticism, in the sense that when we are speaking, we should always remember that we are not telling this as a you know 3 C's. We must always remember never to complain, never criticize in a complaining attitude, never criticize when we are comparing with others, and the other C is criticize itself. So these are the 3 C's that we must try to avoid. So never compare, never complain when we are wanting to do constructive criticism. So constructive criticism means that we are offering it as a solution, not just that this is the only way, otherwise everything else will be finished. So it should be done with a mood of, not with from a vengeance point of view, but from a way that things can be enhanced further, things can be enriched, things can be, solutions can be brought out, not that problems can keep increasing. That is constructive criticism. That should be there. And, it's not that we are just doing it for the sake of doing, but it should be, properly, so that we understand from the other person's point of view, having proper discussions, not shouting at each other. That is called as not to criticize, which is the third thumb rule for success in Grihastha life.
And then we come to the fourth one. Fourth thumb rule is give honest appreciation, because it's very important to appreciate our spouse, one another. Sometimes we feel that, my wife cooks very nice prasad, bhoga, and offers prasadam. And internally in our mind we appreciate, like, oh, it was very nice. But then we fail to give words to those appreciation. We don't tell it. We think, yeah, it's understood. Yeah, I appreciate. No, what is the problem? Why I have to actually say it? Because the other person needs to hear. Appreciation is a way of showing care. And again, when we appreciate, we must give honest appreciation. Sometimes one end of the pendulum is people don't appreciate at all their spouses, thinking, oh, sar pe baith ke chad jayenge kabhi to agar appreciate kiya. If we appreciate them, then they'll think like, oh, this is they'll take me very cheaply if I appreciate. That's the fear sometimes people have, and so they don't give any appreciation. On the other end of the pendulum, they feel that, oh yeah, I will appreciate. And then, for example, I saw one Mataji was asking Prabhu, oh, how is the prasadam today? And he just said, oh, very nice, very nice. He had not even tasted the prasadam. Before tasting only, he said, oh, it's very nice, very nice. And the wife felt, did you taste the prasadam? How can you say it's nice when you've not even tasted it? So give honest appreciation. Don't be eager to just appreciate, but at the same time, something so that then honest appreciation shows value, and that we are not taking you for granted. That is very important. If we are offering constructive criticism, then appreciation is a must along with constructive criticism. Even when we want to provide constructive criticism, we should first appreciate, then provide the constructive criticism, and then give some more words of appreciation again, so that our spouse understands that we are not coming from a place of contempt, but actually from a place of honest appreciation, then that constructive criticism will also be taken in a positive manner.
Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So now we see we are discussing Krishna, trying to recognize Krishna as the third partner in a relationship. Whether it's the relationship between brother and sister, whether it's the relationship between father and child or mother and child, and whether it's the relationship between husband and wife, or whether it's the relationship between the husband and their family, or whether it's the relationship between the wife and her family. So everywhere we must learn to recognize, because Krishna is there, but we just have to learn to recognize the third partner in this relationship. So,
here is an acronym for partner. In a marriage, the partner is the husband, wife, and Krishna. These are the three partners. And so, what do we mean by a partner? P is for praying. The husband and wife must pray to the third partner together. A family that prays together stays together.
Next letter is A. So there is honest appreciation. Appreciation must be there in a relationship for it to be able to grow very nicely. Just like when we have plants, the way we make them grow is by sunlight and by watering it constantly. So appreciation and love, these are the things that make a relationship also nurture and grow. So appreciation, but honest appreciation, is something that is very much needed in a relationship to grow with Krishna in the center.
So that means each partner appreciates each other, which means the husband appreciates the wife appreciates the husband and wife appreciate Krishna as well. Because Krishna always appreciates his devotees. Any little service we do, Krishna appreciates so much that he remembers every lifetime. He knows 10 lifetimes ago what Agyat Sukriti we may have done. He remembers it. That remembrance is a sign of his appreciation. And therefore, out of his appreciation for our little devotional service, he's giving us spiritual advancement, introducing us to the association of devotees, and so many different things like that.
Next letter is R, which is respect. So respect is something that, we generally think, oh, it's only the wife that's supposed to respect the husband, or the children are supposed to respect the parents, but respect is something that is mutual. We cannot command or we cannot demand respect. We need to command it. We cannot demand and say, no, you better respect me. We cannot demand that. We have to command it. Command it means we have to earn it. We have to earn the respect. So respect is important for, between husband and wife, between the children. It's important, and it's also important to recognize and respect the third partner, Krishna. We must respect Krishna, that he is listening. Sometimes we think that generally, when husband and wife are alone or when they are in their room, that no one is listening, and therefore now it is time to just burst out at each other. We can just shout at each other. We can just say whatever we want to each other. But we forget to recognize that Krishna is there even if nobody else is there. So how we are treating each other, Krishna is witnessing that. So therefore we must treat each other with lot of respect.
Janadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. Amanina manadena. Give all respect to others and expect none in return. it does not mean that after this workshop we say, oh, R means respect. Now you will respect me. Look, we don't tell our spouse, did you listen? R means respect. You should respect me. That's not the way to get respect. That way is we will lose respect. The way to gain respect is amanina manadena. Give all respect to others and expect none in return, because that is what Krishna is pleased with. Krishna is seeing how we are dealing with each other as the third partner, and he gives us spiritual advancement accordingly. T is for togetherness, which means whatever we do it together. Nowadays, it's seen the husband is on his phone, the wife is on his phone, the children are on their phones, and everyone is just, there's no togetherness. Everyone is having just different interests, which is okay, but try to find common interests and have a feeling of togetherness. Whatever we do, if we can do it as much as possible together, that will bring us closer. That will help us appreciate each other. That will help us respect and nurture each other. This togetherness is very important, and it has to come from both. That's why minimum we should have dinner together, so that we are able to, at least at dinner time, even if we have different interests and different things in our minds, during dinner time, we are honoring Prasad together with Krishna in the center. Prasad is Krishna, Krishna's mercy, and we are appreciating Krishna's mercy together. That will bring us closer and closer. That will nurture our relationship.
And chanting together, doing things together as much as possible. That is, the beauty of a relationship. It enhances a relationship. Next letter is N. N is for nurture. Nurturing our, the feelings that we have for each other. Nurturing it. Nurturing our relationship is very, very important. You see, if you have a very nice, beautiful porcelain vase, and if you take that and if you crack it, and if it falls, it breaks. And then how much ever you try to glue it in, the fine cracks will always be seen. The cracks will always be seen. Even though the vase is nicely joined together. So we must try that. First of all, we must try that the porcelain vase never breaks. So therefore, nurturing is very important. It's very, very important in a relationship. To nurture means to care. Just so to genuinely, think from the other person's point of view. To put ourselves in the other's shoe. Think of it in that way. That's very, very important for a healthy relationship. Nurturing.
E is for empathy. Empathy means to try to feel what the other person is feeling. Try to transform ourselves into the other person's shoes and see how it would feel if the same situation, the same words were told to us. How is this person feeling? That is empathy. And the more we try, the more we can become empathetic, and that will help nurture our relationship together.
Very important. The last letter is R, which is recreation. So recreation, this always reminds us, because this is a very important aspect. We think, especially as devotees, that to recreate means to, generally how in the karmi world people go for holidays and things like that, forget Krishna. But devotee also need to have relaxed time, to have, recreations amongst each other. And we were told by very senior devotees who are Grihastha counselors from Chaupati, Krishna Chandra Prabhu and his wonderful wife, His Grace Krishna Chandra Prabhu and Her Grace Radha Priya Mataji, they had told us personally that they asked us a question, what do you guys do for recreation? We said, well, we come to India, we go to India and we go to visit the holy dhams, we visit each other's parents and we spend time with the family. That is recreation. And they said, yes, that is very good, visiting the holy dhams, visiting there, going for devotee, retreats and things like that. That's very good. But what do you also do? You know, what do you also do for, with each other? Do you both also go out for, a Krishna conscious holiday together? At least once a year, we must try to do that. They had told us this. And we saw that how easy and how wonderful it is for a relationship to just get out of the normal course of life, just take a vacation with the family, just with the family, husband, wife, children, just go out together, chant Hare Krishna in the beach, early in the morning, just go out, just take a break from your normal routine of life. That recreation makes us stronger, more strongly bonded together. We have had practical experience of that. And that comes from a very, very wise advice that was given to us by Her Grace Radha Priya Mataji and His Grace Krishna Chandra Prabhu. So,
all right, so we can end the slideshow here. And today we will discuss one real life situation. And in that, we will try to appreciate what is different men and women psychology. Before we go to the real life situation, we'd like to announce that 25th is Gita Jayanti, and on the day of Gita Jayanti, we will be having 3 hours of reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita verses, chanting of Bhagavad Gita verses. It is said that it is very, very, there are a lot of glories of just chanting the Bhagavad Gita verses. So we'll do that on 25th. If any of you, this will be from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time US, which is 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and then in India, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So this
on
will
the
be
25th.
on the 25th. We will be doing this on Gita Jayanti, which is day after tomorrow. And if any of you would like to lead the chanting of any of the chapters, then please send us like a 1 or 2 verse recording of your chanting. And there are 18 chapters, 2 of them are already assigned. So the first 16 participants, we will provide them an opportunity we will assign them a particular chapter that they can chant. So please, to any of the administrators of the Bhakti Mellows group, if you can share that you want to chant, and if you can also record the chanting of 2 verses, any 2 verses of Bhagavad Gita, then based on that, we will assign a particular chapter to you on that day.
And we encourage even our children to please come forward for this, that the kids also, please come forward. If you would like to read, this, so please, yes, you can just message us. No, don't message here now. So please just message us, personally, privately, message us, not over the Zoom, but over WhatsApp later. And you can, we'll assign a chapter to you. So
yeah, just send us the name and we'll assign the chapter. You can send your preference, but then we are not very sure if we'll be able to assign the same preference, because if multiple people want to chant the same chapter, then we really don't know. So we will assign the chapters on our own. You can send your preference, no problem, as long as you don't have, you're not attached to that preference.
And also, please record, if your kids or yourself, you want to recite a particular chapter, please record 2 verses, either by yourself or by the children, and send it to us. So, we can just see how it is, and then we will confirm. And it is for the first 16 participants only, because 2 slots are already taken. So we request the first 16 devotees, please, can you message us, and we'll go from there.
And
Okay?
first 16 who send their recording will be preferred.
Yes.
Not just a request, but we'd like to first 16 who record the chapter, 2 verses and send it to us will be considered for the 16th chapter.
Just the shloka, no translation, just the verses. Please recite it with nice meter and, send it to us. So instead of saying, can we do this? Can we do this? Please just go ahead and send us the recording. Okay?
And then based on that, we can decide.
And please don't do it now. Don't do it now. Please do it after the session. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. So we are doing this both on on the Gita Jayanti day, so that devotees who are joining from India, for you all it will be on the 25th evening from 6:30 to 9:30. It will be followed by a performance of yajna, and then this 3 hours of reciting of the Bhagavad Gita. So, and for US devotees, it will be on 25th morning US time and 25th evening India time.
All right, so today we start with a real life situation where Bhakti comes home from an exhausting day. She needs to share her feelings about the day. And so Bhakti says,
oh, there's so much to do. I don't have time for myself.
Her husband, Deva, say, well, then you should quit that service. You don't have to work so hard. Find something that you like to do,
But I like doing my service. I just love doing it. They expect me to change everything. It's just that it's so frustrating because they expect me to change everything within a moment's notice. That's not fair.
Don't listen to them. Just do what you can do.
I am. Oh, I am. Trust me, I am. Oh, but I can't believe I forgot to call my aunt today.
Oh, your aunt. Don't worry. She'll understand. She understands you.
But, she understands me. But, she's going through so much in her own life. So that's why I want to call her.
Bhakti, you worry too much. That's why you're so unhappy always.
I'm not always unhappy. Why do you say like this? Why don't you just listen to me?
I'm listening, Baba. What else do you want me to do? I am listening to you.
Oh, why do I even bother speaking to you? So after this entire conversation, although we were laughing while we were doing it, we're not supposed to laugh. But after this entire conversation, Bhakti was even more frustrated when she arrived at home. Because, she just wanted Deva to actually just listen to her. But he was offering solutions which she was not giving. She was not wanting that. And Deva was also frustrated, was super frustrated. And he had no idea what actually went wrong.
Deva wanted to help. But his problem was his solving tactics did not work. Because without knowing about the emotional needs of women, Deva didn't understand how important it was just to listen without offering any solutions. In fact, Deva's solutions only made things worse. You see, Matajis never offer solutions when someone is talking. A way of honoring another woman is to listen patiently with empathy, with a mood to truly understand the feelings, not give solutions. Because yes, the man's psychology is to always to give solutions, because that's how we are wired. If you are telling me a problem, I'm your problem solver. I will give you the solutions. But unless Matajis ask for a solution, unless they say, I want your advice, and they speak those words, do not give solutions. They just want us to listen. When they are telling their problems, just listen empathetically. And now Deva, from his point of view, he was doing everything right. Yeah, the aunt, you forgot your aunt's birthday? Yeah, don't worry about it. She'll understand. Okay, you are so tired after coming back from work. Why don't you quit your job? He's giving a solution. He's telling her, quit your job. I'll provide, no problem. And he's thinking he's doing a good thing. But that's not what Bhakti wanted. Deva had no idea that just listening with empathy to Bhakti, and that Bhakti is expressing her feelings, he's just listening, would actually bring her tremendous relief and fulfillment. Then, slowly, Deva learned about this, and he gradually learned how to listen. So now let's see how Deva responds once he understands how to listen empathetically without offering solutions.
So now let's see how the conversation goes. So Bhakti comes home. Oh, there is so much to do. I am so tired. I have no time for myself.
Sounds like you had a tough day.
Yeah, they just expect me at work. They expect that I have to just change everything at a moment's notice. I just don't know what to do. Oh, you know what? I even forgot to call my aunt today.
Oh no!
She needs me so much right now. I feel so bad that I wasn't able to call her.
Such a loving person. Then Deva gives Bhakti a hug. She relaxes, and with a big sigh of relief.
And then Bhakti says, I just love talking with you. You make me so happy. Thank you for listening to me. I feel so much better. So
here, Bhakti is not only Bhakti, now Deva is also feeling better. He was amazed at how much happier his wife was when he finally learned to listen. With this new awareness, wow, this is a secret. He could make so much difference. He learned the wisdom of listening without offering solutions, while Bhakti learned the wisdom of letting go and accepting without offering criticism. So, in summary, if we summarize this particular thing, the two common mistakes that we make generally in relationships is a man tries to change a woman's feelings when she's when she's upset, and what the man tries to do, he tries to be Mr. Fix-It, and he's offering his solutions. There is it. And when the husband offers solutions, the wife feels that her feelings are being invalidated. She feels that the husband is saying, oh, you are feeling bad for no reason. Feel good. I can't force myself to feel good. I'm feeling bad. Yeah, but I'm offering solutions so you can feel good. So it doesn't just work. It actually works the opposite way. It infuriates the feeling, because she's feeling that he's not listening to what I'm actually feeling.
And thus she calls him to be very insensitive, makes judgments at him. And therefore, the second thing that happens in such situations, in such relationships, is that a woman tries to change a man's behavior. When he makes mistakes by becoming the home improvement committee and offering unsolicited advice or criticism. And she also ends up criticizing the husband by calling him and making judgmental remarks at him that you are being so insensitive, you are like this only, you're like that only. And then the thing, just arguments and clashes just keep escalating exponentially. And then just something which could have just been solved by saying, oh yeah, I understand, that's all was needed. Just by that, we could have solved the problem, but rather by speaking too much, we have exponentially increased the problem.
Do you really think that women don't know how to solve their problems? And that if they really want some solutions, they'll come to the man to look for solutions? No, Bhakti already knows that yes, she's tired and exhausted. Do you think she has not considered leaving her job? Do you think she has not considered that her aunt would understand? She doesn't need, when she comes to the husband, she's not really in need of solutions. Uh, a man, he finds his fulfillment by working out the intricate details of solving a problem. So if a man goes to someone with a problem, he's expecting a solution. And so when a woman comes to him, he says, "Oh, she must be expecting a solution also." So the man is fulfilled through solutions. A woman is fulfilled through talking about the details of the problems, just the problems, not the solution. And so the woman should understand about the man as well. When the man is coming, he is actually, the woman should not give solutions, because then it hurts the man. It hurts the relationship as well. Whereas when a woman comes, then the man should not give solutions. Uh, at least not until it's solicited, at least not before empathetically convincing that, yes, I've understood what you are feeling. And then they'll be open to solutions if needed. Otherwise, it just ends there, and the end result is it it makes the relationship much better. But it's not so easy. Very difficult for a man to listen to a woman when she's unhappy or disappointed. We just want the woman to always be happy. We just want, okay, I'll just turn the happy switch and she'll be happy. But this is, I know what to do for the happy switch, but actually it gives opposite effects.
Because men are generally motivated and empowered when they feel needed, but women are motivated and empowered when they feel cherished. So there is a difference between the two. It's a very, very important statement that men, they feel empowered and, empowered and motivated when they feel that, yes, someone needs me. But women at the same time is completely opposite. Just see the difference, that women feel the empowerment when they feel cherished, when they feel cared for. They feel empowered by that, just by that. It's two completely opposite things. One is need, the other is cherish.
So therefore, today we want to focus on the man's psychology and the woman's psychology. The basic psychology of man and woman are very different. The bodies are different. The psychology is also different. It's not that one is better, has a better psychology than the other, but it's just different. It's apples and pears. Apples are good, pears are good, peaches are good, bananas are good, but they are two different things. And when men and women are able to respect and accept their differences, then love has a chance to blossom.
Okay, we've been asked to repeat this again, that men are motivated. Men feel motivated and empowered when they feel that they are needed. When they come as the problem solver, they feel that, yes, now I am doing something. That's when they feel that, yes, this is something, I have come, I am doing something, I feel empowered, I feel motivated to do something. But women, they feel motivated and empowered when they are cherished, when they are cared for. Thus, they are completely two different opposite things. So now we'll talk about what is the psychology of men. A man's sense of self is defined through his ability to achieve results. Okay, I have this list. So this one, done. Checklist, ticked off. Okay, I have to do this. Okay, done. I have to do this. This is done. So achieving results, they're motivated by that. To offer a man unsolicited advice is to presume that he doesn't know what to do, or that he can't do it on his own. And that is very, very demeaning to the man. And even the other way around, it is very demeaning even to the woman. The woman also feels, well, I didn't ask you for advice. I didn't ask you. Why are you giving me advice? I just want you to listen to me. You think I don't know? I know. But I just want you to listen to me. That's all it is. So similarly, so this applies to both. So therefore, never offer unsolicited advice. Generally speaking, when a woman offers unsolicited advice, or tries to help a man, she has no idea of how critical and how loving, how unloving she is coming off as. Because she will be coming off as arrogant, she will come off as to be, oh, the one who knows everything, or you think that you know everything, or you think that, you have the solutions to all problems. What do you think of yourself? That's how we we make the other person feel when we offer unsolicited advice.
Women's psychology is their sense of self is actually defined through feelings and through the quality of the relationships. If a man cannot understand how a woman is different, then the man can actually make things worse when they're trying to help the woman. We need to remember that Matajis, they talk about problems not to find solutions but to get close to the other person. That's their way of getting close to you. Whenever they're talking about problems, they want you to just empathize and build the relationship. That's their roadmap for enhancing relationships.
And definitely not to get any solutions.
Yep. And uh, so, and then the man doesn't know why the woman is displeased, and the woman doesn't know why this man is always irritating. And that's because of not understanding. So this is a key point in a husband-wife relationship. It is, I mean, this is so key. At the same time, it's such a secret, because even when someone knows it, has the knowledge of it, our psychology is so ingrained that it's very difficult to act on this level. I guess that's how the material world is created. That's why uh, the material illusion is such that we are so much bogged down by our own psychology that we cannot enter into someone else's mind and think what they are expecting, what they are wanting. We think that the other person is expecting the same thing that I would expect. But to, in heated situations, to think from the other person's point of view can resolve the situation. But then most of the time we are just not able to do that. But when we chant, when we read Srila Prabhupada's books, when there is sufficient purification of the heart, then we can get free of the modes of nature and then be able to understand. That's why if we become a devotee, if we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, if we are able to get purified of the modes of nature, it'll have a direct positive impact on our relationships. The first impact we will see is on the relationships. So let's talk about duties of a husband and a wife. As per the Shastras, what do we understand from the Shastras about what is the duty of a husband? What are the duties of a wife? Now, for a husband, a natural quality of any Vaishnava is to understand and appreciate how much his wife is helping in his devotional service, how much his wife is actually protecting him from Maya, not dragging him into Maya, but protecting him from Maya. Then the husband can actually appreciate and be grateful for the presence of his wife. If you read the lives of the great Vaishnavas in the scriptures, one does not find them that they are neglecting their wives or demeaning their wives, casting ill remarks on their wives. You see Krishna, how lovingly he deals. Instead, great Vaishnavas are very caring, very protective husbands, and they're still strictly exemplary in following the principles of Krishna consciousness.
Now let's see some of the duties of the wife. We will not do just the duties of the husband. We thought that we'll go back and forth with the duties of the husband and the duties of the wife. So from the viewpoint of the religious duties, a husband and wife are considered one entity. They are one entity and one identity in body and mind, and they should serve Krishna as one being. The woman in a Grihastha ashram is actually called as Ardhangini, which means the better half, which nowadays somehow becomes as the bitter half. Better half has become as the bitter half. So this is what, Ardhangini means, which is the better half. And according to Vedic injunctions, the wife is accepted as, that she is responsible for discharging half the responsibilities of the husband. That is why they are called as better half. The husband is incomplete without the wife. Being one with her husband and being protected and guided by him, she can actually be happy. And if she tries to be independent, she will definitely be unhappy. So these are some things that, we must remember, that, just being dependent, or just being, just thinking of, um, you know, um, thinking that yes, I'm dependent on the husband, doesn't mean that, we are demeaning ourselves. Rather, we are putting ourselves in a very, very protective kind of an environment where we are completely free. In independence actually is actual independence. That is how the Vedic women were brought up.
According to Vedic wisdom, for a husband, a good wife is a great asset for material and spiritual prosperity. The bodily relationship between husband and wife, that's second. But the primary factor is that both should help one another in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. That's the purpose of marriage. Is the real purpose is that we help each other in advancing in Krishna consciousness, in pleasing Krishna. That's the only purpose of marriage. That's the main purpose of marriage. Rest other things come later. But that's why people are losing faith in the institution of marriage, because nowadays they are coming together. They think marriage is just for sense gratification, is because I have to, enjoy with a woman, woman has to enjoy with a man, sense gratification, we come together. As soon as that goes away, as soon as it becomes boring or it becomes monotonous, then why are we together? If the reason was sense gratification, I'm not getting any sense gratification from you. So I go my way, you go your way. But if the basis of marriage, which is only in the human form of life, animals, society, there is no marriage. They come together just for sense gratification, and then they go apart as well. But human beings come together not for sense gratification, but for helping each other in Krishna consciousness. Then, even if we are not able to have sense gratification, or we just things become monotonous emotionally, materially, whatever, physically, still spiritually, the real purpose of us being together is very clear. So we can help each other in Krishna consciousness. Let's do that. And from there, everything falls back into place. But if that is not there, that's why the materialists are confused. Why should I marry? There is so much problems in marriage. Why should I unnecessarily put myself? I know the wife will not, the woman would not understand me, husband would not understand the other person. And ultimately, so many marriages go into divorce. But if we understand this point, things become very clear. Without this, yes, they're right. There is no point in marriage, one sense.
And that is so true, because it is said that the wife is the one who makes the grihastha ashram very, very safe. Because though the husband is the protector of the wife actually protects the husband in a very, very important way. This is very, very wonderfully explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the story of King Puranjana. And Srila Prabhupada very wonderfully explains in the purport that the body is like the fort, and the senses are like the plunderers, and the wife is the commander of the fort. So, in other words, when one's consciousness is attacked by the call of the senses, then it is the wife who is the commander of the fort comes to one's rescue. So she is the protection of the husband who would otherwise go astray, who would otherwise perform irreligious activities. And she controls her husband not by harsh words. Even the word control is actually not used. She actually is, keeping the husband safe by not just by not even by challenging him or by her arrogance. Rather, it is by her affection, it is by her chastity, it is by her service spirit. The spirit of her service, she actually is able to keep the husband safe. And therefore, it is said that the Grihastha ashram is supposed to be the safest of all the ashrams. This is the verdict of the Puranas, that because of the position of the wife plays a very important role in making the Grihastha ashram a very, very safe haven for Krishna conscious to nurture in. And the wife can advise her husband when he is going on a wrong track. The example of Mandodari is there, that who was the epitome of a chaste wife who gave good advice to Ravana. But how did Mandodari give that good advice? She did not come into the court, into the assembly of Ravana. You see, when Ravana kidnapped Sita, all of Ravana's brothers, Meghnad, even the, Vibhishan, of course, and even Meghnad, his own son, they also in the assembly where other ministers are present, everyone, all the demigods, had been captured by Ravana in his own assembly. So everyone is present in Ravana's assembly. And in that assembly, many people had told him that what he did was wrong. What Ravana did by kidnapping Sita in such a stealthy way was a very wrong thing. So many people told him that. But Mandodari, Ravana's good wife, she's an epitome of chastity. She did not come into the assembly of Ravana and say, "My husband, you are wrong." She didn't do that. How did she offer her counsel to Ravana? How did she share her opinion with Ravana? She gave her opinion only. She did not advise him. She did not tell him that you need to do this. She just told that this is not supposed to be done. A person of your stature should not have done this. And she just gave it to him in person when no one else was there around, other than Krishna, the Paramatma. So therefore we see that a good wife does, offer advice to the husband. We also see similarly even Dhritarashtra received good counseling from Gandhari, from his wife. Vali, Sugriva's brother, whose wife is Tara, she is also one of the, great chaste ladies. She also told Vali that don't go out and fight with Sugriva just because you want to fight and win. But Vali did not listen to her, and he just went and he lost his life. So the wife should definitely give good advice to her husband in a humble way, in a sweet way, without, without injuring or bruising the feelings of the husband. If he stubbornly disregards her good advice, then he alone has to suffer the result of his karma.
On the other hand, the husband should, yes, definitely accept or listen to the advice, listen to the suggestions, opinions given by the wife, and in return, the husband should see that the wife is trained nicely in Krishna consciousness. It's the duty of the husband to set an example and make sure that the wife and children are also trained in Krishna consciousness. If one has a child, of course, it's the husband's responsibility that the wife and the children don't come back to this material world. That is the biggest responsibility. Guru na sasyat, pati na sasyat. That don't become a guru, don't become a husband, don't become a father if you're not able to deliver your dependents from the cycle of birth and death. Which means, if you are a guru, if you are a father, if you are a husband, then recognize that responsibility to deliver the dependents from the cycle of birth and death. In fact, Lord Rishabdev also instructed his 100 sons that one who the same verse that we said, Guru na sasyat, Swajano na sasyat, Pati na swasat, is one who cannot deliver his dependents, then they should not be a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or even a demigod for that matter. So if one is not able to liberate one's wife from the cycle of birth and death, then don't be a husband. Husband As a husband, we should try to be qualified spiritually. We must properly be in Krishna consciousness, be able to guide the wife properly, protect on the spiritual platform. Protection is the key for in marriage. The main purpose is encouraging each other in Krishna consciousness, but the husband's duty is to protect the wife. The wife's duty is to protect the husband from going astray. Which means protection also entails providing all the facilities to one's wife, which means that she should not have the problem of how and where to get the food, how to get clothes, what about house, maintaining home and children. The husband can shoulder the burden. Of course, sometimes the responsibilities may change in modern life, but Srila Prabhupada explains that providing for the wife and children may involve hardships on the part of the husband, and the wife, on her part, can make it comfortable for the husband by not demanding too much. This is Srila Prabhupada's words.
And that is something very, very true. That if the wife has, unending list of my wish list, that is a burden on the husband. So, therefore, in many, many modern days, we see that husband and wife are shouldering the responsibility of, the burden of the family together. And that's a wonderful thing. So when the family finances are handled together, then the family responsibilities also need to be handled together. That time we should not think, oh, now my wife also is coming out to work, so that's very good. But then when she goes home, she has to cook also, she has to clean also, she has to do this also, she has to do that also. So that's her responsibility. No, then every responsibility also must be shared. Then that family becomes a happy family, a Krishna conscious family. So it is very important that a wife should always serve the husband faithfully, devotedly, and sincerely.
We also find this counsel in Ramayana and Mahabharata, where it says when Lord Ram and Sita, they were in exile, they visited the beautiful, wonderful ashram of Atri Muni and his chaste wife Anusuya. And during this day, Anusuya advised, she's one of the sati. Sita is also one of the 7 satis. But Anusuya, she advised, Nagarastho vanastho va shubho va yadiva shubha yasam strinam priyo bharta tasam loka mahodaya. The worlds that are attended with great prosperity await those women to whom their husband is dear no matter what. Whether he lives in the city or a forest, whether he is adverse or very prosperous. This instruction of Anusuya is the very root of a successful grihastha life. Husband's honor must be wife's honor, and wife's honor must be husband's honor. Their joy, his joy should be her joy should be his joy. That's why it is said, Paradukha Dukhi. A Vaishnava is very much sad in others' sadness and very happy in others' happiness. Parasukha Sukhi and Paradukha Dukhi. But then in the material world, what we see, Paradukha Sukhi, which means if someone is sad, we may say, externally give our condolences, but internally sometimes we are happy. Yeah, he deserved that. I knew this person. Paradukha Sukhi. Or Parasukha Dukhi sometimes, which means when someone else is prospering, we feel unhappy. Why this person is going up? I deserve that. So but as a Vaishnava, we have to reverse this material trend, and we have to and charity begins at home. So if we are at least not able to show this quality to others, at least we should develop it within the family. Para dukha dukhi, when someone in the family is unhappy, that is empathy. We feel unhappy. And when someone else is happy, we celebrate that success together.
But what happens in general day? Nowadays we see that, we are paradukha dukhi for other Vaishnavas. We never consider our own family to be Vaishnavas. That is the problem. Charity is not beginning at home. And there is where the problem lies. So therefore, we need to always understand that the wife, the children, they are actually, being placed under the care of the caretaker, who is the husband, on behalf of Krishna. That the husband takes care of the family on behalf of Krishna. And therefore, he treats them with the proper respect, gives them the proper respect, the love, the care. It's very, 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 very important. So it is said that even if the wife is not a devotee or the husband is not a devotee, the wife can attain heavenly planets just by serving her husband in a chaste way. So imagine what the benefits will be if both the husband and wife are devotees. The wife serves the husband submissively with chastity and, with humility and with sweet words. Then what would be the effect? This is the verdict of the Puranas, that if a wife who is not a devotee just sincerely serves a husband who is not a devotee, the destination is going to the heavenly planets. What happens when they are devotees? Srila Jayapataka Maharaj very wonderfully says, he says that the husband's 100% Krishna consciousness, the wife's 100% Krishna consciousness makes it 200%. There's nothing called as 200%, but it makes it 200%. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. So it is said that when the wife, comes in front of the husband, she should be very joyful, she should be cheerful. Of course, not like a plastic doll, but actually, and she should be clever in her household management, very expert, keeping things in, according to the needs of the family, putting food on the table, putting prasadam on the table. And on the other hand, the husband should also provide sufficiently. And in this arrangement, there will be money saved for rendering service to Krishna, and do some things, for not just for the daily maintenance, but also because an essential fact of the matter is that charity also, is an essential element of the Grihastha ashram, because which we will be discussing tomorrow in detail, that how the Grihastha ashram actually maintains the other three ashrams. It is the duty of the householders to maintain the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, and, senior vanaprastha grihastha couples, and take care of them even financially. So how we can do that expertly while taking care of our family is the role of the wife. And the wife can thus draw inspiration from role models who are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, like Devahuti, and who served Kardama Muni. Even though she was a great princess, she served Kardama Muni so humbly. So both the husband and the wife must actually follow the instructions of the Guru, of the spiritual master, so nicely that they can create a wonderful, temple in their own home. This is the desire of Srila Prabhupada, that, Prabhupada says that we should not just think that, oh, this Sunday is coming, we should go to the temple. And then when we come back, we are coming back to our home. No, the home is actually a satellite center of the temple. It is an expansion of the temple, that every day we are at our home, that is a temple.
And then again, the husband should not expect his wife to be like Sita if the husband is not behaving like Lord Rama, and vice versa. The wife should not expect the husband to be like Lord Ram if she's not behaving like Sita. Both husband and wife should try as much as possible to follow these footsteps of the ideal grahasthas, serve each other. Service is the principle, and be happy in Krishna consciousness. In fact, even if the husband is a neophyte devotee, still the wife should serve. The wife should not say, oh, I'm a senior devotee and you came after me in Krishna consciousness, or that I'm a devotee, you are not, so you have to treat me like a Vaishnava, but I don't need to treat you as that. No. When the marriage was there, it was in front of Krishna. The third partner, if it is a Vedic marriage, the third partner is already installed. Krishna is already installed. So even if the husband is a neophyte devotee, still the wife should serve him, just like Bhavatarini Mataji, Pishima, the sister of Srila Prabhupada, she followed that. Humility, tolerance, understanding, they are important attributes from the husband's side as well. So these tips are not just for devotee husbands and wives, but any husband and wife. It's not that only as a devotee you should follow this. Even if the husband is not a devotee or the wife is not a devotee, these principles should still be followed for a happy family life. So we'll end our discussion here, and with one real life situation. We'll end by looking and analyzing at a situation where a couple who are married before coming to Krishna consciousness, and what are the some of the problems that come when both the couple were before coming to Krishna consciousness, like before marriage, they were not devotees. They got married, and then after that, they came to Krishna consciousness. What issues and problems can happen with them? Tomorrow, we'll see the next two scenarios where the one of the spouses came to Krishna consciousness, the other is not. And tomorrow, we'll also see if both were devotees and then they came to Krishna, then they got married. What is the situation? But today, we'll end with one situation where Surendra and Sunita, they were married 3 to 4 years before they came to Krishna consciousness. So they got married. Then after 3 to 4 years, they came to Krishna consciousness because of one of the family friends, a devotee named Arjun, let's say. And they had many problems after marriage, even before they came to Krishna consciousness. And they thought that maybe if they have a child, it would help. But this did not happen. So slowly they were becoming Krishna conscious, but still the couple was drifting apart, even though they came to Krishna consciousness. And their son Ashok was being neglected. And then one day, it was the last straw. Surendra says, I was thinking that you would change your ways after you come into Krishna consciousness, but you have remained the same. After marriage, what you were, now after coming to Krishna consciousness, what kind of a devotee are you?
Sunita is saying, and how about you? Because we have constant quarrels. Our son Ashok, he does not even like to stay in the house. For Krishna's sake, please, if you have a problem in the office, don't take it out on me.
You know what? I just want to quit. I've had enough of you.
What will happen to our son? What will happen to me?
Krishna will take care of the situation. Just depend on Krishna.
So,
then Arjun, the family friend who had introduced them to Krishna consciousness, took them to a counselor whom both respected, and then they were explained the role of a husband and a wife in Krishna consciousness and how their behavior would adversely affect their child. And then both were allowed to express freely in presence of an impartial authority, and they were specifically advised to sit together, chant together, read Krishna book every day. And today, this family of Surendra, Sunita and Ashok are very happy.
So this is what happens, sometimes we think that, Krishna consciousness is actually going to solve all problems. But sometimes we fail that, we think that, will devotees be able to help us if we go to them? They have trust us. They've also been through what we are going through in our life, probably, definitely. So we just need to go to the right people to be able to help us. We must seek out help in the association of devotees. We must have faith that the association of devotees will be able to help us in some way or the other. With that faith, with that note, we end our session today, and we can open up the lines for any questions, comments, or any other reflections.
And again, we'd like to announce that day after tomorrow is Gita Jayanti, 3 hours of Gita chapter chanting, just the Sanskrit verses, and after that we'll have a special yagya which everyone can participate in, and anyone who would like to lead the Bhagavad Gita chanting one chapter, please record your chanting and send it to us or one of the administrators of the Bhakti Mellows group, and we'll be happy to assign you a chapter after listening to your recording.
Giridhari Govinda Prabhu, we are still, we are not the ones who's going to decide this. So the team of devotees, after the 3 days, these sessions are getting recorded, as you can see, but how it will be made available to you, the team will decide, and, we will be informing everyone. So please do not, do not worry. Yeah, please just wait. And the admins, we request you, Keshavi, do not send the recording in the Bhakti Mellows group. If you're the admin, please do not send it in the Bhakti Mellows group. Please, send it outside. Send it to us personally. Do not send it in the Bhakti Mellows group. Keshavi, if you can please delete the messages from the Bhakti Mellows group. So sorry, but if you can please do that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we can open up the lines.
Well, I think you should continue doing what you're doing and being empathetic and just respecting his decisions and like that, and not forcing too much. But another thing is two things that really help in a passive way is prasadam, which of course I'm sure you're offering, and feeding the prasadam, which is definitely helping. And maybe you can ask him to read a book of Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada's books are very, very potent. And when he's sitting alone and reading, Srila Prabhupada will talk to him, will tell him what to do, will inspire him. And in that way, maybe on his own, after reading some of the books, he may come. Another thing that couple therapy is, I'm not saying you need therapy, but in the couple therapy it is said that we read Krishna book together in the night, one page at least, husband and wife. That brings both husband and wife together. So maybe you can offer that. You can say, before we go to sleep, and we read, like the whole family, even the kids, read one page of Krishna book. Do you know about the Krishna book?
As such, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, everything I read Bhagavatam, but Krishna book I don't know exactly what you're referring to.
There is a book called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which has all the pastimes of Krishna that is given in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada had written, it's just in the form of stories, and about Krishna in a very authentic way, written by Srila Prabhupada. And if you can purchase Krishna book, it is also available on vedabase.com, VEDABASE, vedabase.com. And if you go there, you'll see Krishna book. There's also krishnabook.com, a link someone just sent. And it is very effective in building relationships as well, with Krishna as the third partner. So if you just say, before retiring, the whole family can come and read just one page, 5 minutes, right after dinner or something of that sort, whatever schedule works for your family, then it will help the relationship. And in that way, there could be some words there, some pastime there, which can inspire him and would want to, he may be curious to know more, or Krishna will somehow inspire him. All we can do is just create situations where there is more opportunity for them to come, but ultimately it is up to Krishna. So these are some ways. Prasadam and books are reading together are some ways, but don't, not like an hour of reading together, then it sometimes is not sustainable. But every day, without fail, one page, and it'll definitely, you'll see a lot of difference in a short time.
And also another thing is that some kind of a friendship, if he can also develop some devotee friends, with people of, you know like another male, if he can try to develop a relationship with another devotee prabhu, that can definitely help exponentially, because um, what we as spouses cannot do, sometimes a friend can do, so developing that kind of a relationship with somebody, getting them connected to somebody, can definitely help. So if somehow we can try to do that, maybe if it is a possibility, you can see that as an option also.
And if in Bangalore there are so many devotees, some devotee who is in the same business or the same industry as Prabhu is in, if they can come together, and then that way they need not talk about chanting and devotional stuff, just be friends together. That sometimes brings up a possibility in the mind that, oh, if this person, he's also working and he's also doing, if he can chant 16 rounds, I can chant one round at least, and he seems to be a nice person. And so that just has a very subtle impact, having a friend in a similar industry who's a devotee, uh, having being friends in that way, not in any way that the friend will preach to him, but just sharing thoughts uh, definitely helps.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, that Prabhuji gave the solution, really it was very helpful. Even I will try to read Krishna book every day, daily. Thank you so much for that. Actually, my question is, Vanaprastha is there, Mataji, because my senior devotee was telling like, by 50 years, even ladies, I am not 50, but 40 plus, but still he was telling, when you come to 50 years, you come out, attend Mangalarti. If you are not attending a Mangalarti, then there is no way to go back to God, and he used to say. So how it possible? I don't have son, only 2 daughters I have, so I have to take care of them after marriage, delivery, so many duties are there for mother and father. And leaving husband, it's not advisable from ladies, I was thinking. So what do you suggest, Mataji?
Absolutely. It's definitely not a suggestion that you leave your family. And, because Vanaprastha life basically is that while you're staying in the family, along with the husband, you're continuing. Vanaprastha means not much social interaction, not much social obligation, so to speak. So you can start doing Mangalartis at home even now. What's to stop you to do Mangalarti at home even now? You can do that even, and that way, your entire family is, going to be centered around Krishna. So
for Prabhuji is also no Vanaprastha, Mataji, nowadays, how it is, Mataji?
Well, first of all, there are no Vana. There are no forests.
yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Vanaprastha means enter the forest. But in any ways, the purpose of Vanaprastha is that husband and wife both go to the forest, so that they can, and they, so all by 50, typically, if all of the responsibilities of the family, everyone's married and everything, then husband and wife during Vanaprastha, they go together and just depend on the Lord. That's the essence. So when they go to the forest for their eating, for their subsistence, it's just berries and some things like that, and they just depend on the Lord. But they are still together. And then from 50 to 75 is Vanaprastha, and at 75, then the wife goes and is kept under the care of a male relative, and the husband then takes sannyas. That's how the varnashram system works. But in modern day, there is no, society does not support any of the varnashram things. Even ISKCON society is just able to support brahmachari, grihastas, and sannyasis, and that also there is a lot of struggle. And so for vanaprastha, the main thing is to look at the principle of vanaprastha is husband and wife, they renounce the family duties, but they still stay together, they remain together, and depend on Krishna for their subsistence, for their understanding. And yes, attending Mangalarti is very important, is an important step, because we give up the responsibilities and take up spiritual responsibilities. So, but husband and wife are together, even vanaprastha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. Dandavad pranam.
Dandavad pranam. Thank you so much, Mataji. It's a pleasure to see you and know you. Thank you.
Okay, if not,
Hare
then
Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji Dandavad Pranam.
Prabhuji, Hare
Please accept my humble
Krishna.
obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories
Hare
to Guru and
Krishna.
Gauranga.
Prabhu, is
Uh,
before you ask any question, I want to just say to Keshavi that Keshavi, please forgive me that I had to say please delete the message from the admins group as an admin from the Bhakti Mellows group, because we don't want to make that a thing like that in a public group. So please, I hope you didn't mind that because I just saw it popping up. So we don't want to make others feel that there is any kind of preference because you are being the admin, you're doing that. So that just for that we want to make sure that so please, I hope you didn't mind me saying
Hare
like
Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji Dandavad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. No Mataji, आप जो भी कहोगे हम करेंगे वही.
No.
We are
You are
happy.
completely dear to us. You are part of our family, and so we just want to make sure that things are done in a proper way. So,
yes.
thank you.
Mataji, I have two things. One thing that you mentioned about Vedic way of life. It looks like all those details that we hear, or the kathas that we hear about the Vedic way of life, and we talk about now being Kali Yuga time. It looks to be difficult to practice the Vedic way of life, and yes, hearing definitely we want to follow, but somehow difficult to really practically implement in life. Sometimes yes, definitely the reflections that you all are giving is if we ideally follow it, no doubt the grihastha life will be great. Krishna conscious will perfectly follow it, but still we feel that there will be some impediments somehow. We will be having difficulties in following some of those instructions. And one thing I had wanted to ask was, will you be at some point reflecting on always I have this question, why a mother-in-law does not get along with a daughter-in-law? Because when you talk about grihastha, we have an in-laws as well as a part of the grihastha life. So it just that had the question in my mind, what is it psychologically, why they don't get along? Hare Krishna.
So your first question was, yes, Vedic way of life is good, but it may not be practical. Yes, that's true, but we can at least take the principles from there, and those principles can be applied. Just like Bhagavad Gita, it was spoken 5,000 years ago, but it's still applicable. The principles are still applicable today. And similarly, all the examples of the great acharyas and the great grihastas, Kardama Muni and Devahuti and others, yes, we may not be able to imitate them, but we can certainly follow the principles from there. The principle, for example, of Devahuti, she performed so many austerities, she became so thin and like that. Of course, the Matajis are not expected to serve in that way, to that level that, their health is affected and all that. But the principle of service can be taken from there. And then it can be applied in our current situation. So that's the understanding.
And regarding, of course, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, that's like the question that why does the sun rise in the east? Why not from the west? So, you know,
Krishna.
um, that's a sweet thing, you know. If that kind of thing is not there, then where's the pleasures in life, you know? Then the life would become so bland without all that masala, you know, with all that spices.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that is the reality in life, Prabhu. You know, it's however however good, even if it is an arranged relationship, the mother-in-law herself chose the daughter-in-law and brought her home, and you know, she's like the one who arranged the entire marriage, or whether it be a love marriage where the son himself brought the wife, you know, and brought the daughter-in-law home. In both situations, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law equation never changes, you know. That's just how um, the nature is, you know. That is how just the nature is. um, and we just have to learn to live with that. We just have to learn the techniques of how to, you know, like you know, that you know about Sam, Prabhu, you know Sam is that um, you know, it's like a nice air balloon kind of thing, which has a nose like this on both sides. It's called Sam, and then it is having like you know, a
Base.
base, a solid base. So if you punch it in the nose, you know, and then it would come back again. However hard you punch it down, it always comes back. It will always come back and stand up like this. You punch it and it comes back again.
It has something like it.
Yeah, it has hit me, you know, and you hit it, it again comes back. It's like, you know, you get Sams in different sizes, you know. So Sam, that balloon basically for kids, uh, that's basically how the relationship is supposed to be. We get hit down, but we continue to persevere. We, you know, basic guidelines are that the daughter-in-law should never speak back to the mother-in-law. The daughter-in-law should always be very, very respectful, and she can do all of this only when she has the strong support of her husband. The husband trusts her, you know, and knows things about her. But at the same time, if they both share a good relationship as the husband and wife, and if the wife is getting tormented by the in-laws, but still if the husband is there as a strong support to her, then she can tolerate any kind of thing, you know. That's the bottom line. So following these basic rules, you know, that never speak back, be always very respectful, always serve no matter what, you know, that is the ideal relationship. So hope this
Thank
answers
you,
your
Mataji.
question.
Yes, thank you very much, Mataji. Hare
Thank,
Krishna.
thank you so
Thank,
much, Keshavi.
thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhu, for your
Keshavi.
wonderful, presentation that taking the principles of from the Vedic life and apply it in our day-to-day life. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranam.
Dandavat
Please accept my
pranam.
humble obeisances. Mataji, you mentioned now love marriage and arranged marriage. My question is, what is the difference between both in relevance to destiny?
Hmm. Marriages are made in heaven, as the common saying goes. Um, but the
So,
thing is
how do we blame if it is a love marriage? How do we blame the couple saying that you all have done it? And how is it different in arranged marriage? Because the results are the same, the journey is the same,
yeah,
almost same.
yeah, true. So therefore, there should not be any blame. Actually speaking, there should not be any blame. Um, See, marriage, whether it happens, you know, after marriage, love happens, or before marriage, love happens, right? That's the bottom line. So if it's happened before marriage, why to make such a big deal if they're, you know, the couple is ready to lead their life together? Um, what's the problem? You know, as
My
you know,
like my question was in relevance to destiny. Like, is it Krishna's in love marriage also? Krishna is responsible for the choice. In arranged marriage, Krishna is responsible for the choice, or is it our karmic connections?
Krishna is not responsible for anything. Whether it be arranged, whether it be love, he's not responsible for anything.
He's just wanting us to come back to him. Uh, but yes, it is our karma, and just like in a river, there are some straws, grasses. They go and they meet, and then they come across. So destiny makes us meet. Destiny makes us go apart, either in this life or after death. These things happen. But while we are together, whatever be the reason, whether destiny, whether Krishna, whether devotees, whether parents, whatever be the reason, our goal is not to say how I came into this situation. Our goal is to, now that I'm in this situation, how can I make the best use to go towards Krishna? That should be the situation. It's like if someone has fallen into someone is going on a boat, they fall into a river, and then the boatman says, come, I will help you, I will take you out of this river. And the person who's drowning, he's saying, no, first tell me how I fell in this river. Was I pushed by someone? Did something? The boatman says, we will have enough time to figure that out. Once first you come out from the river, come on the boat, then we'll talk about it. So similarly, we are in this situation.
So true, Prabhuji, because this is that type of situation only, I feel.
Instead of thinking how I came here, was it destiny? Was it this? Was it that? Maybe it could have been this. Okay, I'm in this situation. Let me get out of this in a way, in a Krishna not get out, but let me deal with this in a Krishna conscious way, which will help me. Because every situation, there is a way that Krishna can guide us towards him. There is no situation where Krishna cannot take it out. So instead of comparing our situations or thinking why we are here, we'll have enough time to deal with all this when we go back home, back to God. Right now, focus on this situation, how I can become Krishna conscious in the situation that I'm in currently. And Krishna will definitely reciprocate with that desire of ours.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you for the fantastic question. Very nice.
Yeah, because we keep blaming people that it was your choice, you did it. So I always had that question, like if it is destiny, then who is responsible for all that? Like,
Yeah.
Blaming and other things are all just excuses.
Yeah. Even in arranged marriages, even in arranged marriages, the son sometimes blames the parents that I didn't want to get married. You guys forced me. Now look what happened. We are not happy. The blame game starts when things don't go our way. Then we look for, that Sam. We look for that punching bag. Whom can we put the blame on? Okay, we can't put it on destiny. We can't put, Arey Baba, arranged marriage kiya na. So how can I put the blame on anyone else? I now have to find someone else to put the blame on. So maybe it is destiny, So things like this, because the material nature is that we never want to accept our faults. We never want to step back and think that could it just be me? I am destined for such thing because I have done some greatly horrible acts in my previous lives. Therefore, I'm getting a reaction of all of that. I'm getting a reaction of all my choices that I have done. And unless that person is taking to Krishna, if that person is a devotee, then yes, then it is the hand of Krishna. It is the hand of Krishna.
But thinking about destiny does not change the destiny. Yeah. Thinking about Krishna changes the destiny.
That's perfect, Prabhuji. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions?
Okay. Thank you all very much for your association. We'll see on the final day 3 tomorrow of the Grihastha workshop.
So we look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. And please do send us all your recordings. And please do send us, we look forward to hearing. And please remember, just the first 16 participants we can accept. And we will let you know also who are the first 16 that are, telling us about it. So please let us know. So thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, Prabhuji. Koti koti